Hey family, it's Dr. Corey J. Henderson, and today I want to speak directly to the heart. This Juneteenth, I'm reflecting not just on the history we inherited, but on something I call trauma debt. It's a concept we don't talk about enough, the cost of unhealed pain that keeps getting passed down, compounding over generations. But before we dive in, let me start with my family. In 1817, my great-great-grandfather, Allen Henry Henderson, was born into slavery. In 1844, still enslaved, he married Betty Key Bullock. By 1870, 5 years after Juneteenth, they were living on a farm in Warren County, North Carolina. Their total family wealth, $180. Fast forward to today, 2025. I'm Dr. Henderson, one of their descendants. My father became a CPA, my brothers, a lawyer, and a successful MBA in sales. Our sister, thriving as a sales lead and a sales representative. We all own our homes. We've built wealth they couldn't have imagined. But here's the thing, the trauma in our community persisted, even as the outcomes improved. And that's the conversation I want us to have. June 19th, 1865, Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, to proclaim the freedom of enslaved people, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Freedom had technically arrived, but freedom in practice, that was still a fight. Juneteenth isn't just about celebration. It's a reminder that freedom isn't automatic. It's earned, protected, preserved. Because emancipation is a process, and when that process is delayed or denied, trauma debt begins to grow. So what is trauma debt? Let's put it in perspective. There are over 8 billion people alive today. The U.S. makes up less than 10% of that, with about 330 million people. Of those, about 40 million are Black. That community, our community, descended from just 440,000 Africans forcibly brought to North America. Compare that to the 5 to 8 million taken to the Caribbean and South America. It was harder to get here, more dangerous, more expensive, but still, we came. And despite the odds, love persisted. Families were forged, and we grew. And so did the trauma. In the U.S., slavery didn't just try to own the body. It aimed to enslave the mind. Because controlling the body is hard. Controlling the mind, that's generational. Picture this. A baby elephant is born into captivity. From day one, it's shackled with a chain. The elephant pulls, resists, but the chain holds. Over time, the elephant stops trying. Its spirit is broken. Even when the chain is removed, the elephant doesn't move. It stays in place. The mental limit replaces the physical one. That's trauma debt. It rewires the brain. It becomes belief, passed down generation to generation, a debt unpaid, and it accrues interest. Let's talk history. What happens when we don't pay the debt off? Early 1900s, Black communities were boxed into segregated neighborhoods, denied health protections, abandoned during outbreaks like tuberculosis. Jobs began to vanish. Next, redlining came. Banks labeled our neighborhoods high risk. Loans were denied. No homes, no equity, no generational wealth, just struggle, passed down like a family heirloom. And then the 1980s, the crack epidemic hit. Families shattered. Parents were lost to addiction and incarceration. Children grew up with emotional vacancy, disconnection, absence. By 2020, the results weren't just financial, they were psychological. Depression, delinquency, academic collapse. This isn't about personal failure. It's about compounded generational harm. Breaking the cycle is important. But let me be clear, trauma debt does not have to define us, and it does not define us. Faith reminds us we are not bound by the chains of the past. Hope tells us freedom is still within reach, and love is how we reclaim it. Juneteenth reminds us liberation isn't just a moment in history, it's a daily pursuit. So, what can we do? 1, there are everyday actions we must take to heal. We must name the debt. Let's speak the truth. Trauma doesn't expire just because time passes. We must acknowledge it out loud. 2, we must invest in healing, support mental health, create spaces for storytelling, mentoring, and community healing. Where there's no therapist, a kitchen table can still hold wisdom. 3, build stronger bonds. Policy matters, but love heals. Support Black-owned businesses. Show up for our youth. Rebuild the village. 4, advocate for economic repair. Challenge predatory lending. Push for housing justice. Make sure the next generation isn't locked out of ownership. 5, reclaim the narrative. Tell your story. Our truth breaks the mental chains our ancestors couldn't. Let justice roll and let love lead. There's a scripture, but let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. You'll find that in Amos chapter 5, verse 24. Juneteenth isn't just about looking back. It's about pushing forward with truth, courage, and joy. And because music has always carried our resistance, Sam Cooke said, a change is gonna come. Aretha told the world to demand respect. James Brown shouted, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. And Marvin Gaye asked, what's going on? When it's time to fight, Public Enemy reminded us to fight the power. Mystical warned us to shake it fast, but watch yourself. Tupac told us to keep your head up. Common and John Legend sang of glory. And Kendrick, he said it plain. We gonna be all right. So this Juneteenth, stand tall, celebrate, heal, and march forward in the Black Parade with Beyonce. With your boots on the ground and your joy intact. Let justice roll. Let righteousness flow. Let love lead the way. Because the next chapter is ours to write. Yes, it is. This is Dr. Corey J. Henderson. If this spoke to you, share it, start a conversation, and remember, healing is a collective act. And until next time, stay grounded, stay lifted, stay loved.